Listen very carefully and follow my instructions. Prepare your brain for the Cortex Nootropics podcast.
I mean, look, being an entrepreneur, I would not go through the rest of my life without taking nootropics. Aniracetam, piracetam, oxiracetam, uridine monophosphate, CDP-choline, modafinil, Noopept, forget it. You can always have a better brain.
The Cortex Nootropics podcast is about to begin.
An epic intro for an epic podcast. What's up, everybody? Ryan Michael Ballo here. Welcome to number 17 on the Cortex Nootropics podcast. We're going to talk about triacetlyuridine, one of my favorite nootropic compounds in general. I actually did a video recently, top 12 nootropics ever, bunch of racetams, Noopept, uridine monophosphate, CDP-choline, tyrosine, theacrine, caffeine, theanine, a few other things, modafinil, and one of, because those are basically my top 12, but like it was like triacetlyuridine didn't make it in there because uridine monophosphate did. Which is basically one of its cousins. We're going to get to that in a minute, but suffice it to say, it's basically one of my favorites. I just couldn't put it in the top 12. You can find that video on livecortex.com in the content section or on YouTube on our Nootropics channel. But look, here's the bottom line, guys. Bottom line is triacetlyuridine is like a cousin of uridine monophosphate, a little more bioavailable, requires less doses, works on dopamine receptors and acetylcholine receptors, increases acetylcholine quantity by converting partially to CDP-choline, is motivating, turns on verbal fluency in conjunction with B vitamins, turns on cellular repair and neurogenesis. It is one of the most one of the most effective nootropic compounds there is across the board, that and uridine. So it's going to be awesome. We're going to get into some stacks, some triacetlyuridine centric stacks, okay, that you can use right away to get the kind of brain function that'll literally, like, if you've not taken nootropics before, like if you're new to nootropics, you're going to go, okay, now I'm so sold. This is so crazy. Is this even real? I'm not even sure this is even real. Like these stacks are exceptionally powerful. I'm giving them away to folks. They are in the Smarter, Better, Faster book. But look, I want to give folks a peek into what, the value of the power in the stacks in this book. So we're going to talk about that in a minute, but preliminary stuff out of the way. If you've not tried the Cortex Nootropic Stack, that is our stack that combines uridine, which is the cousin of triacetlyuridine, very, very effective compound for motivation, verbal fluency, mental energy, with CDP-choline and artichoke extract in a way that we found through the experimentation that you could basically replicate the modafinil-like effect with this stack, okay? Folks talk about siltep and artichoke extract, and forskolin being a modafinil-like stack. It's not been my experience. It's not been the experience of many people. That stack's a good stack primarily because it's got alcar and phenylalanine in it. I'm talking about the siltep stack. But the real modafinil-like stack is by combining uridine, CDP, and artichoke extract in a very specific way to get a synergy that really improves brain function. That we put in the Cortex stack. That's our nootropic stack. The Generation 1 stack is called Workhorse because it will drive you to action, my friends. Get it at livecortex.com. Use the coupon code 5, save $5. Also, Smarter, Better, Faster, which we're going to talk about in this podcast, is our Nootropics God Guide. It basically explains everything you need to know about nootropics, but the most valuable part of it, where you can get nootropics, which are the most trustable vendors, which content to follow on the web, everything you can think of, racetam, choline dilemma, that whole thing explained, stacking racetams, modafinil protocols, modafinil microdose protocols, modafinil caffeine, theanine protocols. But I mean, it's a list of the most powerful, effective, time-tested, experimented stacks that you could take and turn on very particular brain states. I mean, imagine being able to take, imagine having a direction book like a stack list, right? A very explicit stack list of certain compounds that you could take and turn the brain on for very specific things. Get it at livecortex.com. We wrote a guide. It's called Smarter, Better, Faster. It is digital. And in that guide, we talk about triacetlyuridine. So again, the basis of triacetlyuridine is a slightly more potent version of uridine monophosphate. All right, uridine monophosphate and triacetlyuridine works on basically improving dopamine receptor densities, improving acetylcholine receptor densities. So what that means is it goes and modulates the receivers of the signal for dopamine and acetylcholine, these receptor sites, within the brain. and makes it so that the signal strength of those neurotransmitters are stronger. They're just more enhanced, right? So you get a better dopamine hit. You get a better acetylcholine hit. Those are neurochemicals involved in motivation, focus, verbal fluency, working memory. Okay, so you can optimize the way that your brain works in those regards by optimizing those neurotransmitter receptor sites, and that's what, at least in part, triacetlyuridine does. But it does other interesting things. In combination with DHA, docosahexaenoic acid, that's one of the omega-3 fatty acids, in 500 to 1,000 milligram quantities, it works to upregulate cellular repair in a thing called neurogenesis. Neurogenesis is no joke, shouldn't be taken lightly. That's literally spawning new neurons and engaging in neuronal growth and repair. That's insane. That's why nootropics are so incredible, and I'm interested, I think everyone should be interested in these type of nootropics that work so profoundly on improving brain function, almost like how the woman who discovered nerve growth factor, the Italian older woman named Rita Levi-Montalcini, was like, into nerve growth factor for its effects on neurogenesis. So that's the real benefit, and that's the real, those are the mechanisms, and that's what triacetlyuridine does. What that translates, though, to, for those of you that don't care about mechanisms or don't understand mechanisms enough or don't want to think about mechanisms, which is totally understandable, what that translates to is a better functional motivation. Okay, the brain state that one can get in that gets them motivated. The brain state of motivation is basically what underlies it, right? It's springboarded by an underlying chemical position, right? A sort of underlying chemical composition. And that chemical composition or position is, sure, other neurotransmitters functioning, firing correctly, energy in the brain, being able to make energy correctly, using adequate glucose for brain cells to fire. But it is also, a very particular state of dopamine functioning, right? It's dopamine, the neurotransmitter, being sent through neurons in adequate supply, and the neurons having access to dopamine. There's no question about it. Dopamine is the motivation neurotransmitter, and one of the most powerful things that triacetlyuridine does, and the outcome of the mechanisms that we explained, is it motivates the brain. It gets the brain in a place where the person, the organism, wants to move forward in life. It wants to engage in stuff. It wants to produce stuff. It wants to be productive. Triacetlyuridine and uridine monophosphate, just the uridine analogs, are the motivation nootropics. There's the verbal fluency, the mental energy, the mental fluidity nootropics. They're multifaceted, but it is so much the drive you to do things, the drive you to action nootropic, that it's basically profound. Folks, that's why we talk about the Cortex stack being so powerful, because combining uridine and CDP, which also modulates dopamine, and artichoke extract in very particular ways, which allow it to onset a lot quicker, is very, very facilitative of motivation. We get folks that take the Cortex stack that just say, man, caffeine is one thing, but taking this Cortex thing, like I'm motivated to live my life again, I'm motivated to do work again. You got corporate folks, I'm motivated to kill it, I'm getting promotions. Salespeople doing better at sales, folks doing whatever job you can think of, just doing better because, look, you're working on dopamine receptors. So that's the basic gist to triacetlyuridine. Let's talk about dose ranges real quick. Dose range is really 25 to 100 milligrams. You don't have to take a whole lot of this compound to get good effects. I'm right around the middle at 50 milligrams. Frankly, I could take 25 milligrams and still feel good, and still get a good functional motivation, good functional verbal fluency, good functional mental energy, good prefrontal cortex, good frontal lobe control. But 50 milligrams is my sweet spot, and you'll have to sort of experiment with finding the right dose for you. And the best things that triacetlyuridine stacks with are other cholinergics, mainly choline sources. But you can stack it with caffeine, theanine, alcohol. We're going to get to that in just a second. Okay, let's get to those stacks. The Smarter, Better, Faster book, this is the digital guide we were talking about at the beginning. This is basically at the request of so many folks. Look, can you write all your stacks down? Can you explain racetam's choline? Can you explain modafinil theanine? Can you explain how to prevent anxiety with modafinil? Can you explain cycling? Can you explain where to get stuff? Can you explain the most trustable sources? Yeah, we did. We put it in a guide. It's called Smarter, Better, Faster. You can download it for any device you have and read it ASAP. And have it forever. It's one of the most powerful God guides of nootropics there is. And inside that guide, I want to give you a taste of what this is by giving you a bunch of triacetlyuridine stacks. Not only do we have a stack called the Triacetlyuridine, it's really the TAU Limitless stack, because this is like the limit, if you've seen the movie Limitless with Bradley Cooper, where the character Eddie Mora takes this pharmaceutical compound and his brain completely turns on, except for he runs into a bunch of side effects, and this doesn't give you side effects, because that right there is crazy. It's like that effect, okay? The TAU Limitless stack is like that effect, but the best part about the stacks I'm going to give you today is that I've worked on these over years, many years, refined them over many years, and these stacks are akin to the TAU Limitless stack and are akin to the, basically modafinil. I mean, in a way that really, really turns on brain function and gets you firing on all cylinders. I'm going to give you 3 triacetlyuridine stacks, okay? So get a pen, or if you're listening to this on the road, I understand, come back to it, write it down, write it down in your notes thing on your iPhone. Do whatever you got to do, but you could always come back. Don't do this when you're driving. Look, you always have this podcast, and you could always email me if you forget it at ryan@livecortex.com. Okay, here are the three of the most powerful triacetlyuridine nootropic stacks directly from the Smarter, Better, Faster guide, guys. Okay, here we go. Number 1, 50 milligrams of triacetlyuridine, 75 milligrams of phenylpiracetam, 100 milligrams of alpha GPC. All right, that's number 1. I'll say it again. 50 milligrams triacetlyuridine, 75 milligrams phenylpiracetam. That's a very potent, motivating racetam. And then 100 milligrams of alpha GPC, otherwise known as alpha glycerol phosphorylcholine. It's a choline source that has the most choline quantity in it per dose compared to CDP choline and centrophenoxine, DMAE, and choline bitartrate. It also works on improving growth hormone and contributes to phosphatidylcholine synthesis. Number 2, 25 milligrams of triacetlyuridine, 15 milligrams Noopept, and 100 milligrams of CDP choline. Okay, Noopept is a Russian cholinergic nerve growth factor signaling a nootropic compound that requires extremely low doses. It's massively more potent than piracetam and other racetams. Stacks well with other cholinergics. CDP choline is otherwise known as cytidine 5-diphosphylcholine or CITI-choline. It is a bioavailable acetylcholine precursor, dopamine modulator, acetylcholine receptor modulator. It also works on improving neurogenesis, functioning in the prefrontal cortex, among other things. It's a very powerful compound. The combination of those together. So here's a stack again: 25 milligrams triacetlyuridine, 15 milligrams Noopept, 100 milligrams of CDP choline. Okay, stack number 3. Get ready for this one, guys. Okay, like I said, talk about value. I'm telling you, I'm giving you the best stacks there are. This is an insane stack, and we're bringing a curveball in. Ready for this curveball? We're going to bring a curveball in. You're going to like it. Here it is. Number 3, 50 milligrams triacetlyuridine. Alert, curveball alert, coming in. 500 milligrams oxiracetam. Whoo! That's one of my favorite racetams right there. And then 100 milligrams, again, 100 milligrams of CDP choline. So we got 50 milligrams triacetlyuridine, 500 milligrams oxiracetam, the mighty OXR. That's in my top 12 right there. I love that stuff. And then 1,000 milligrams of CDP choline. Okay, look, there are many variations of triacetlyuridine stacks. You can stack it with caffeine, theanine, Alcar, a bunch of different combinations. And we've got more of those combinations in the Smarter, Better, Faster guide. You can get that at livecortex.com, by the way, if I wasn't clear of where you can get it. But those three are one of the best. I mean, those are 3 of the most effective, most functional triacetlyuridine nootropic stacks. And keep in mind, I put these together, with a very specific framework. I don't really divulge us a whole lot because, like, my competitors might take it and try to create stacks with it. But the framework you really want to look at is you want to start with basically, to make this simple, blank sheet of paper. Then you want to write down all the different facets of mental functionality nootropics can affect. Verbal fluency, write it down. Okay, mental energy, write it down. Speed of processing, write it down. Motivation, write it down. Right, mental fluidity, write it down. And then you want to start there, and then you want to look at infusing particular nootropics that are known to work on the neurochemicals. Okay, so what neurotransmitters work on dopamine, which would facilitate motivation. Okay, we got triacetlyuridine, right? Or we got L-tyrosine or mucuna or phenylalanine or others, right? And then you want to look at how do you improve verbal fluency? Well, verbal fluency, what's most involved in verbal fluency, as far as I can tell, is modulating acetylcholine. So let's look at what modulates acetylcholine receptors, and on and on and on and on. That's how you really put together a profound stack. What else do you want in this stack? Do you want an added focus benefit? Well, one of the best focus nootropics there are is oxiracetam. It's the best, it's one of the best focus racetams. It's one of the best focus nootropics. So, okay, let's bring some oxiracetam in there. Do we need to balance out cholinergic signaling with an acetylcholine precursor? Okay, let's bring in alpha GPC. So this is sort of the logic behind creating a good stack, and this is a part of the framework that I use to create stacks. It's obviously the framework I use to create the Cortex stack, and it's the framework that I've used to formulate those stacks. I just gave you 3 of the most powerful triacetlyuridine stacks that you can take today, or whenever you get the compounds in. If you don't have the stuff in, you can source triacetlyuridine in from some of the popular nootropic sources, or find a vendor in China. Research accordingly, find your source of triacetlyuridine. I still have a bunch of triacetlyuridine from when Powder City was in business, and I got a few other companies that I buy bulk nootropics from China. And that's a good source too. I mean, for those of you that are really, really into bulk powder nootropics and want to have your own stuff around so you can make stacks, you got to get in touch with some vendors in China, and some of the known nootropics powder companies, Serotropic, Nootropics Depot, Nootropics Source. These folks may or may not, depending on their stock, their inventory at the time, have triacetlyuridine. But those are some of the most powerful triacetlyuridine stacks. Now you have them to use to turn on brain function. Okay, triacetlyuridine is one of the most powerful compounds there is. It is critically important if you're a nootropics enthusiast, and if you want to benefit from nootropics, to keep triacetlyuridine around. Like you might have 30 things that you just need to keep around. Most of the racetams, L-tyrosine, theacrine, uridine monophosphate, triacetlyuridine, right? I mean, these modafinil as much as you can, if you can get some modafinil or armodafinil, L-theanine. These are things to keep around, right? Keep around in the arsenal. And triacetlyuridine is absolutely one of them. It's all about understanding utility, right? How can I use this nootropic for very particular things, to turn on very particular brain states, to facilitate very particular output, or just to benefit from being in those states. Some folks just might not want to apply it to productivity, might just want to feel motivated, might just want to have verbal fluency, might just want to have a better functioning brain. Okay, so look, more stacks like this in the Smarter, Better, Faster guide. Get it at livecortex.com. It's $24, all right? Spend it. It'll be the best $24 you've ever spent. But guess what? I can save you $5. Use the coupon code 5, get it for 19. It's done. You'll have it forever. Download it on your iPad, iPhone, Kindle, Android, tablet, Windows Phone, PDF, read it on your computer, however you want to read it, it's there. The only thing we don't have is paperback, because, everything's digital these days, so you can just literally click a button, it's yours, you'll have it. Okay, so get it at livecortex.com. Thank you so much for listening. Source yourself in some triacetlyuridine, and hey, guys, use these stacks. I put them together with great care. They're exceptionally effective at turning on many facets of brain function. And hey, if you have not tried the Cortex Nootropic Stack, look, it's got uridine monophosphate in it, and it has CDP choline in it. So it was formulated with the intention in mind to create a fully functional brain energy, motivation, speed of processing, verbal fluency, mental fluidity stack. It is one of the most powerful stacks you could take, the best pre-made stack out there, no question about it. That is coming from our customers, not from me, guys. All right, it's coming from the folks all around the planet that take the Cortex stack. Get it at livecortex.com. Save $5 by using the coupon code 5. And hey, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being here. Check us out on the web at livecortex.com. Hey, livecortex.com/blog. Most robust nootropics blog on the planet. And then also our YouTube channel, if you're listening to this on iTunes, just YouTube search the Cortex Labs Nootropics and Smart Drugs channel. We've got almost 200 videos of endless amounts of advice, stacks, everything you can think of. We're just giving information away over there. And listen, thanks so much for being with me. I appreciate the fact that you guys are taking the time to listen to this. I hope I've been valuable. I've hopefully given you stuff that you can take away to make your brain and life better. Oh, and on that note, last thing, we got a Nootropics consult that we basically just launched. Folks have been asking me for this for 2 years. I just never got around to doing it. and it is a nootropic stack consult or slash stack optimization. It's basically, look, it's 40 minutes with me, 40 minutes on a phone call or a video call, whatever you want to do. And then it's 15 follow-up correspondences, email correspondences, for me to critique your stack, optimize your stack, get you your stack fired on all cylinders so you can get your brain fired on all cylinders to perfect your stack. Here's what I've come to learn. Everybody has their own, individual stacks that work really, really well for them. There are applicable stacks that work for everybody, and hopefully, like folks that made pre-made stacks or folks that suggest wide range stacks, that people have done their research, have done a lot of experimentation, and ideally have a whole lot of people that tried that stack so they can confirm it. But stack optimization is something that individually a lot of people are going to want to do. They're going to want to up the dose, 10 milligrams here, lower the dose 100 milligrams here. They're going to have to find their perfect sweet spot on all these, different acetylcholine precursors, racetams, etc. And so what the consult package does, is it gives you 40 minutes with me to refine your stack. I'll tell you, man, I will tell you, what stacks are going to work the best for you, why you're not getting the best effect with your current stack, how you can optimize it, what you should take down, what you should add in. I will make your stack perfect so that you can take the stack, forget about it, and then rock on and have good brain performance after. Get it at livecortex.com. The Nootropics consult and stack optimization is $65. That is well worth it. I can make your brain function and fire on all cylinders for as long as you use the stack thereafter. Go to livecortex.com, go to stack consulting in the menu, and let's make it happen. Hey, thanks for listening.